are really doing well with these, or being consistent with these.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I have a very special guest with me, Alex. What's up, man?
Thanks for having me, Ty.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Fun to be on the show.
So we're gonna wait a little, try to get some people on here, make sure we got everything up and running. But man, how's your day been?
It's been a good day, filled with just yoga so far. It's awesome. I slept in a little bit. During the week, I wake up really early, like super early, about 4, just because I open the gym. Yeah, so I open the gym.
That's really early.
Yeah, no, it's filled with yoga so far today. I'm working here at the YMCA. I absolutely love the YMCA. I love the space. Like, it's great that we're virtually like connecting the space to wherever people are at with this, literally this physical space. I taught the first yoga class ever in here, and now we started with no people, like 0 people would come to the yoga classes, but now we have sometimes 20 people in a yoga class, and that many people practicing together. It's crazy. Just everyone focused on one goal. It's similar to sports where everyone's focused on one goal, like, yo, score the basket, yo, win the game. It's kind of the same thing here. It's like, yo, do the best pose or be the healthiest, be the most relaxed, I don't know, whatever.
So whoever's watching, can you guys hear us well? I want to make sure the audio is nice and well before we get started. And I'm going to go to Twitter real quick, just let them know that we're live. Yeah, man, that's awesome. I remember when I first met you in Pittsburgh, you were telling me how you're trying to get more people to come to your yoga classes and how you'd only have like 1 or not even any at some point. Now you got a lot, right?
No, true, yeah. And you actually taught me some other lessons too, but I haven't really put them into practice yet because I know how important this virtual space is. I know how important the internet is. I know how important social media is, yet I've just demonstrated so much inconsistency with putting out yoga content or just telling my truth, documenting, as Gary Vee would say, whatever you want, whatever angle you want to come at it, just like not investing into this kind of consistent basis. I noticed you've been so consistent since I met you, and just like, and that's why you're growing. That's why you're refining your craft, and just like, but let's not get it twisted. It's like I'm in my yoga practice every day. Like I teach like 3-4 classes a day.
Yeah, like just from what I see on social media, like this is the first time I've seen you in like almost a year, I think, and you know, what I see you post on social media, you're always in the yoga studio. You know, it might not be as much content as you would like, but it's definitely enough because I'm like, oh, you know, I'm learning new stuff from him. I know he's still doing his thing because back when I first met you, you were all yoga, and that's what you still are. So that's pretty awesome to see.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We got one person here. Yo, what's up, Ty? How you doing, Alex? Can you hear us well? Just want to make sure. His name is Alex as well.
Great name.
But yeah, we're going to share this to Twitter before we get started. Yeah, man, I'm really excited.
So you're using, what are the main platforms that you use? You use YouTube. This is YouTube streaming, which I really haven't used yet personally, but you use YouTube, Twitter. You're on Instagram a lot too.
Yep, I sometimes Snapchat, and I'm getting more into Facebook now. I haven't really utilized Facebook as much as I would want to, but we're getting into it.
Is Facebook king of everything? Wait, who is the king of the internet? I think Google is the king.
Google,
Facebook and Instagram combined, but they're like they're close.
Yeah,
they're close.
Facebook's coming in hot, so.
Can't forget Amazon as well.
Yeah,
all these
coming in. All right, man. Let's get to this. All right, Alex. First off, tell everyone who you are and what you do.
Okay, I'm Alex Julian. I've been teaching yoga for about 4 years. I've been practicing yoga for about maybe 10 years, 9-10 years, and just I'm really trying to focus on that. I practice every day, a couple hours. I teach a couple classes. It's not just physical. It started off as physical, but it's like now I'm refining my mindset. I'm tapping into my soul, and even I'm kind of creating my own yoga, and that is what one of the yoga greats, BKS, originally said, or before he left, is like, okay, hopefully my ending is your beginning. So yoga came to America to where it's evolving, right? It's changing. A lot of people are stuck in kind of the old, like, oh, this is what yoga should be, blah, blah, blah. But yoga is evolving as we are evolving. And now virtual is part of the conversation, like your virtual identity. Like, how does that in yoga come together? How does your financial health in yoga come together? Because these are things that are not talked about. But they're part of your health, and yoga needs to evolve to meet those needs. So I'm kind of I like to think I'm one of the people on the frontier trying to help evolve yoga. I know we're early in the evolution, but still I'm trying to put in the groundwork. So that's basically what I do. The yoga classes every day, the personal practice, and just trying to help with the evolution of yoga, like where it maybe should be going.
That's
like
awesome.
India has lost it. It obviously did not work in India. So India, America, we're taking over.
I haven't even thought of yoga on that deep of a level. For some reason in my heart, I knew there was a much more deeper level to yoga than what I have known. And then just to hear what you're explaining now, it goes even further. That's pretty awesome. So we got a few people on here. Hey everyone, what's up? Cliff, how you doing? Yes, yoga. This is my stuff right here. Greetings, brothers, Ty, and warm welcome, Alex.
Wow, thank you.
Awesome. Sorry, I wish I had like 8 hands so I could do all this at the same time.
Hey, maybe one day.
Anyways, how long have you been doing yoga?
I've been doing yoga for about 10 years, but what's really crazy, but it gets even crazier, is because when I started off earlier on with dance, with gymnastics, with basketball, with baseball. And even when I was playing baseball and basketball, I was super into mobility drills and stretching. And I would go to the Greendale YMCA in Worcester for hours and like have like 3-hour workouts, but only like 1 hour was actually in the weight room. Like 2 hours were on the mats, doing mobility, doing stretching. So I was always doing yoga before I was doing yoga. And that's something I like to talk about with destiny, is like your destiny, whatever you're meant to do, is like you'll probably already have been doing it, and the universe is nudging you to, okay, go towards here, like you've already been doing it, right? Yeah, that's awesome. But the craziest thing is this lady one day before I actually got into yoga came up to me on the mats and was like, hey, you know you're doing yoga, right? And I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? And then she gave me a gift certificate to Bikram Yoga in Auburn, and she's like, meet me for class tonight. I'm like, okay, I understand, like, do I do this? And then I ended up going, she was not there. And what's crazy is I never saw her again after. So I think this was literally like angelic intervention, like someone was placed, like, okay, just like guide this person to this place. So it was insane. But I fell in love with not formal, but just like a systemized yoga practice that day, that night. It was Bikram yoga. I know they got a lot of shade on them now, rightfully so, but it's like you can't do that Bikram quad now. But it was still Bikram yoga. The practice of itself is like, we can't give the practitioners of Bikram yoga a bad name just because the person that created it did all these like shady things. Like obviously the energies come to play, like some of his energies in the system, he created it, but still, it's been a very powerful system for a lot of people. It's helped me. I did it for 3 years every day to start. So it was like the foundation of my formal yoga practice, like the beginning of the 10 years. But what I was getting at, even before that, I was like practicing yoga before I knew I was practicing. That's
amazing. So as of your knowledge, you've been doing it for 10 years, but before you even knew you were doing yoga, you were actually
I was already in my craft before I knew I was in it. And like, I really think that's the case with most people, is the things you gravitate towards. Like I necessarily wasn't even doing all the mobility and stretching to like get an edge on people. Is like, I actually like literally like in the weight room or on the athletic fields, whatever it is I literally just ended up the off season, ended up being my favorite part of the season at one point. It was crazy. Oh my God, I love training. I love stretching. I love mobility. I feel great after. I feel more free. And like, I still like to play sports, but it's just like, I remember like there was a shift like early on, like, wow, even the off season, like more than the season, what is going on? Like, I still like to compete. Come on.
Yeah, definitely. Of course. I think we all do. That's awesome though. And I think you're right about that, because now that you're aware of your passion, now you can, go full force with it, which is awesome. And those years before you even knew you were doing yoga, you weren't aware of it. But now that you're in your awareness,
no, that's perfect. So, yep. No, perfect.
Yeah. So can you share some of the benefits of making yoga a regular thing?
I'm going to hit 3 levels of benefits, or maybe we'll hit 4. We'll throw in the virtual, like the new component we're working with. But physically, yoga makes me feel more free. It makes me feel more expansive. Look at we're sitting down right now, and just like a lot of people sit down for 8+ hours a day, and you don't think of it as contracting your muscles, but the hamstrings are right now passively contracted. The hip flexors passively contracted. Like we're not like contracting them to move, but those areas of the bodies are tight, they're closed off. And just physically, on a physical level, like doing yoga helps to open up the front for a lot of people because everyone has like the anterior pelvic tilt. Now everyone's closing in. And that actually I'm going to tie into, so that's literally a practical physical benefit. It could be as easy as doing a glute bridge a couple times a day. Like obviously you want to work into more, but like that could be a great start, just some kind of back bend. But that brings me into the second benefit, which is that I want to highlight now. There's infinite benefits, but mindset. Okay, the mind-body connection is a two-way street. So if your body's Amy Cuddy, and so many people talk about this, if you're closed off in the body, you're going to be closed off in the mind and literally you're depressed. You're coming in as opposed to you're open with the body, you're expansive, you're more free, you're more inspired. And just that's one of the things, that's one of the, literally we're talking, going back to yoga philosophy, is the poses originally were created to put the body in certain positions to make the body feel a certain way, make the nervous system operate in a certain way, to like feel more expansive, more free. We're not meant to like close in. Even in meditation, like you're supposed to be like wicked erect, right? Like wicked tall, wicked open, but we're not like meditating like this. So that's but hey, the third thing I want to highlight is yoga is going to bring you towards yourself. And I call this reverse enlightenment is, and we were almost kind of already touching on the destiny or your path earlier, but we all came here for a reason, and it's literally impossible that we exist. Like the odds are impossible. So we're here for a purpose, right? We can't even like imagine it collectively what it is. So there's a collective purpose too. But I'm talking individual purpose. Like all of us are here for a reason. We have dreams. You may have forgot them, right? Because you're so wrapped up in stress, but we all have dreams.
Absolutely.
And just yoga helps you bring you back to yourself, that reverse enlightenment where, right, we start off like awesome, and then it's like kind of downhill, like after childhood. But then we can climb back up and go higher than before. But it brings you back to yourself. That's the third benefit I want to highlight. But the fourth too, kind of the alignment, right, of the mind, body, soul. Like yoga helps with your overall alignment. So your physical body gets lined up, your mindset gets lined up to more oriented mindset or more success oriented mindset. Your soul lines up with these things. You start to live in your soul, your heart more as opposed to just your head. And now on that fourth tip, that fourth level being constructed over everything, the internet, the virtual, the digital level, like that's going to align you with that too. And you'll be able to, in essence, like clone yourself with the internet and just get your voice to be heard or yourself to be seen by potentially millions of people in real time, which it's thinking about that, that's like impossible. If you even like, that's impossible to think about how you can connect in real time to like millions of people potentially. So just, this is subtle, but the alignment note is like if you're aligned in mind, body, soul, and then your virtual identity too, all of them are lined up. It's just boom, whatever needs to flow, that's the best for everyone listening to, and will just flow out effortlessly. You'll just be in that state of alignment or that state of flow. So that's the fourth tip I want to highlight. But even just typing in Google, you can find so many benefits of yoga, and like a lot of people, the stress reduction is big for them. So we'll throw out a fifth. The stress reduction is like, guys, like some stress is good, but like chronic stress is not. Like no way it's good.
Chronic stretching.
Oh, chronic stress. Like always being stressed. Like that's not good. Like we want to like stress ourselves in the weight room. I'm like pointing to the weight room. I know you can't see it on there, but like
that makes sense. I understand that.
Yeah. But we don't want chronic stress. Like, oh my God, what do I do? I don't have enough money for rent. Oh my God, I'm in debt. But like, don't want this chronic stress program is running. It's gonna like, that is bad for sure. Let's not get it twisted.
Nice. Those are some amazing benefits. And obviously, of course, you said there are countless benefits for yoga, but the benefits that you just shared, I wasn't expecting, to be honest. It was definitely on like a deeper level, which I never even thought about. So thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
So we got some more people here on the stream. Sounds like the yogic discipline was already in you.
Whoa.
Hi, friends. 5 thumbs up. Yoga is awesome at my age. I always used to outstretch and outcompete people on the fitness test in grade school.
Good. I remember the sit and reach test, 8th grade, way back in the day. Yeah, I was always good at that too. You already know.
Alex, you are so on point. So glad I got this notification on time. Yoga saved my life at one point.
Wow, I'm glad the practice can help you to that capacity. It's definitely like saved my life in many ways too. I would like go a lot and like switch.
Absolutely. So, what was the main reason you started doing yoga? Was there like a specific reason, or like how you said you just got led into it?
I literally believe that I did get led into it by this lady that just manifested on my path. But also, like I said, I've always been kind of doing yoga without even realizing I was doing it. But the reason why I stayed is because it helped me feel good. I was kind of like in a weird space in my life. I was like I think a lot of people, because stress accelerates time, they're having their midlife crisis, whatever you want to call it, early. And I was kind of in the middle of mine, but I'm going to call it an identity crisis. I'm like, yo, what am I doing with my life? Like, what path am I going on? It's like, why is everyone on this path? Why is everybody in debt? Why is everybody not happy? And I'm just like, yo, where do I go? And like, where do I fit in this infinite world? Like, what do I do? And just like, so yoga found me at the perfect time, or it came in at the perfect time. And I stayed because it helped me like get a sense of identity and kind of go back towards myself. And I had physical benefits too. Like I got more athletic, I got more open, I got stronger. Even though I was losing weight, I lost like 40 pounds, 50 pounds over my yoga path of like whatever, 10 years. But I feel stronger than I was in the beginning. Like I could do things that I couldn't even imagine I could do. Like I could sit in a headstand, a handstand. I have great control of my body. I'm super slow. Like I can do like a push up and make it last out for an entire minute. Like that slow. Like and just that. Like I want to just highlight that the moving slow in yoga. Like people like, oh, I can't develop strength in yoga, but my strength is going through the roof with practicing yoga. Just the more mindfulness, the more awareness I'm bringing to even just a single vinyasa or a single push-up, or even if I'm taking my yoga principles and applying them out in the weight room or just out in life, like doing pull-ups super slow, like bring a ton of awareness into. But you see, I stayed because it enhanced my awareness. It brought me back to myself, and it made me feel more expansive as opposed to more depressed. It kind of uplifted me.
Right. That's amazing. You're making me want to make yoga a regular thing now.
It's easy to do. It's just a couple of minutes
Absolutely.
a day.
And, I live right down the street from here. I might just start coming here and making it a regular thing. How often do you hold classes?
We're in our current location. We have classes here 4 days a week.
4 days a week.
4 days a week. And I teach about 15 to 20 classes a week.
Nice.
And I set it up intentionally like that or some part of me set it up intentionally like that for like accelerated growth. And we talked about early how I've been inconsistent with the virtual space, which will get more consistent when it's meant to be more consistent. But like I've been very consistent in my yoga practice, like teaching yoga every day for years now and just practicing yoga every day. And like my life is set up so it's like it's part of my practice where it's like embedded, and it's not like in the same time like I can let that go. Like I don't need it to be embedded. It's like even if I had nothing to do, I would just be practicing yoga like naturally. I would just gravitate towards that.
Yeah. Definitely. That's awesome. So for someone looking to get started with yoga, where do you suggest they start?
I have a different take on yoga, public yoga classes than most people have. A lot of people go to public yoga classes and that is their practice. And that is a good starting point, but a great starting point would be having your own personal practice. And that can be, okay, guys, you're watching this on a screen, some type of screen. Any information you need to know is on the internet, literally anything. And that includes yoga, okay? That includes yoga. Take an hour to go through a couple YouTube videos, educate yourself on a couple yoga moves, create your own yoga practice. It doesn't have to be perfect, and that is a trap in itself. It's like, that's been a trap for me. It's like, is this the perfect time to do it? Is this the perfect exercise modality for me? The rep range is like letting go of perfection. Like it doesn't have to be perfect. Like it has to be your yoga practice, right? So just maybe 5 or 10 minutes of yoga, whether it's like doing some twisting, whether it's like bridges, forward folds, or up doing balancing positions. Like balance is a huge one, but just ideally I suggest 5-10 minutes of yoga a day, people in their own home practice, and they go to the public classes to get ideas to add to their own home practice, their own personal practice. So that's flipped of how most people do it. Is most people go to public classes like maybe once, twice, 3 times a week. Then they do not practice at home at all. No offense, but at the same time, like it needs to be known. The reverse would be more ideal. Is you practice at home every day, maybe just 5-10 minutes. Build the habit of doing yoga. So then, a lot of people just the habit they go to the gym every day. They don't have to think about it, and they feel weird if they don't go. it's so easy to just add 5 minutes of yoga before or after that, just even at the gym or even at your home, wherever. And just now you have that tool of yoga always in your belt, and it gets sharper and sharper if you do it every day. It's like the reverse of the bad habits, which makes the tool duller and duller. You know what I mean? But yoga's a powerful tool to have. And just like, I really think you should go approach it, do your own practice for like do some research, then do your own habit of yoga, like 5-10 minutes a day. Go to a couple of public classes once in a while, get some ideas.
Nice. That's awesome. In my mind, I was always thinking, oh, I need to go to like a yoga class to get the full benefits and this and that. Like, oh, I don't have the money or the time, whatever. So I would start, like how you said, doing my own personal practices at home, looking at YouTube videos, doing research and stuff like that whenever I did do yoga. And now that you mentioned, like, it's like building your own arsenal, you know, building your own tools in your pocket and stuff like that. So that's awesome to hear, because sometimes like people definitely feel like they need to rely on others. But here it's a perfect example of, you know, create your own practice, learn different things from different people, and start making your own habits in the area of yoga. That's awesome.
Can I highlight something before we move on?
Yeah, of course.
Ty just brought up a very powerful point in yoga, and there's been a lot of shade and a lot of heat on the yoga culture now, like trying to get it out of there. But there have been so many like corrupt gurus that have taken advantage of students, and just like there's this guru complex needs to be let go. It's like, I'm not your guru, okay? And like your yoga teacher should not be your guru. It's good to have mentors, okay? It's like this goes back to that, or comes to holding contradictory concepts at the same time, which is a yoga principle. But we can have mentors, but we should not have a guru. We should not be completely dependent on one person, right, or even one tool. And that includes yoga. It's like, if you go to yoga class, like, you should not practice because of your yoga teacher. You should practice because of you. And you're just like gaining ideas from the yoga teacher. So I want to highlight it because it's super important. I've noticed it in yoga culture, and there's a shift away from it, but it's still like embedded, and people need to let it go.
Right. Not only is that in yoga culture, but that's in like, well, I mean, these can all interconnect regardless. Like the personal development area, like a lot of people tend to build attachments to their mentors, and they feel like that's their God or the person they need to look towards. But, you know, like how you're saying, in this yoga realm, a lot of people feel like they need a guru, when in reality, like, you should be your own guru.
Facts. Yep. No, facts.
Yeah, right. That's awesome to hear. So, like how you mentioned, you're a yoga instructor. What is it like being a yoga instructor? Like, how are the people? How is the atmosphere?
The yoga space and community is one of the most positive spaces and communities to place yourself in. It's unbelievable. And I feel literally incredibly blessed. Like, I can't even quantify it, because I get so much gratitude, so much love, so much respect from all of these people. And it took me a couple years actually to start accepting it. It was crazy. Just like, now that I have the awareness of it, of what's going on, and I've accepted it, like, it's literally supercharges me. Like, I'll teach a yoga class and be supercharged for the rest of the day. It's insane. But, I guess like so many, it was weird. People older than me, people how I perceive to be further along in the path, like, they're coming to me for these classes. I'm like, whoa, how do I handle all this gratitude, all this love? Like, it feels amazing. But then, like, the more and more I let go, like, I'm the one doing it, right? It's just the practice doing itself. It's just like, it literally contradictory, but helped me accept it more, which supercharged me more. But what I'm trying to get at is, like, you don't have to be, you can be a teacher, you can be a student, even though we're all both all the time. But just going to a yoga class, placing yourself in a yoga class is one of the most just positive spaces to place yourself in. And hey, we are what we consume through all of our senses. We are where we place ourselves. We are where we become like the people we surround ourselves with. And like in yoga, you're in a community of people. It's very similar to personal development. It's very similar.
Absolutely.
And just you're around that community. It's a very positive, supporting space too. And just it's the best. It's literally, like I said, I feel beyond blessed to be able to be in these spaces all the time, as opposed to somewhere maybe I wouldn't want to be. Like, and I'm not calling shots. Like, I never want to call shots, but if shots come out, they come out. But it's just, I never, like, I wouldn't, if I had to go to a fast food restaurant, and I'm against fast food, it's against my beliefs. I've been a vegan for a long time. And just, if I had to go there for work in a place that that I perceive to be negative, and maybe it is negative. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to, like, it's hard to not judge this. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to not judge McDonald's. Like, but like, I would definitely be a different person because I'm absorbing all those vibes all the time. I'm in this negative space that I don't want to be in, and just like that's what I'm becoming. Like, we become where we place ourselves, and just I want to place myself. So I am placed in these positive spaces, which is just great. So just like I said, I feel beyond blessed to just be able to be in these situations and just like have this amazing sense of community, which is just like, it's insane. Like, it's almost impossible to be negative for long because the community just like lifts you up.
Right.
Like a tide. Is insane.
That's amazing, because when I do yoga myself, I already feel the the energy around me in such a like soothing way. It's almost like the energy around me is like massaging me kind of. And I could always picture, like, what if I was, with people doing the same thing, giving off the same energy in the same area? That would be
facts. You gotta come to a class, man. Yeah. All you, come on, now.
Absolutely. That's awesome. And that brings me into my next question, where it's like, for the people who are in the area, or if they're looking to like get some private lessons, or if they're looking to just come to a class in general, where can they contact you?
Okay, first and foremost, I want to highlight this again because I think it's so important, but it's literally, you have to be your own yoga teacher at the end of the day. And the beginning of the day, you have to be your own expert in life, basically. And like, some people have different perspectives of it, like health. Some people say wealth. Also, now I'm going to tie Lopez on love and happiness too. Is like, we got to be our expert in all these pillars of life. Health is one of them, if not the most important. And just like, be your own coach, your own expert first and foremost. But if you ever want to come practice with me and get some ideas, then I'm at the Leominster YMCA. That's where we are now. It's a beautiful space. It's very big, as you can kind of see. And if you have depth perception through this screen, I think you do, right? With they're pretty high definition these days. But I'm also at the Dolphin Studio in Leominster. That's down the road. I teach at Enlightened Interventions in Worcester, and also in Motion Fitness in Shrewsbury. And that's where I'll be most of the time. Like, I'm there most of the 3-4 days a week, all of them, and they interlap. So I'm there at 1 or 2 every day. And then also just I'm around the Sterling, Clinton, Worcester, Shrewsbury, Leominster area. Yeah.
Now, are these through like program or organizations like the YMCA, or are they your own personal practices?
I don't have my own physical space. I plan on creating my own virtual space first, and it's just like, it's still been kind of, you can call it procrastinating, or you can call it just still formulating, but I think that's going to come first, and then I'll have my own physical space after, if it's still needed even. But I don't have my own yoga studio in the meantime. I just teach out of different studios, like the YMCA here,
okay, cool,
Dawn Studio there, Leominster, Enlightened in Worcester, and also in Motion in Shrewsbury. Those are other people's facilities. I just teach there.
Okay, cool, awesome. And I was gonna ask, like, what else are you doing? Are you full-time yoga master, or?
That's a dream occupation. Okay, I'm still only a part-time yoga master at a time. Like, I'm not really full-time yet, but I am looking for a promotion. Yeah. Higher self-resource, whatever. Hopefully come soon. But no, I also work part-time at the YMCA, like 15, 20 hours a week. And I love the YMCA.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I grew up at the YMCA. I've been going since I'm like 10 years old. Greendale YMCA, Leominster. This is newer. It's like 3 years in. But I love the YMCA. And I want to highlight this too quickly, is faces are not the only things that have souls or spirits. Also, places and spaces have souls too. So the YMCA literally has an energy associated with it. You can call it a spirit, you can call it an energy, you can call it a soul, whatever. And even the originating energy of the YMCA, it started as a Christian monastery. So like, that's the original, and it expanded into this, but like,
that's right.
That's how the YMCA started. It's amazing history behind the Y. Biggest nonprofit in America, and just like, there's such a strong sense of community. It's almost unmatched. Like, yoga studios match it. Okay, let's not get twisted, but I love the YMCA, and I do work part-time at the Leominster and the Fitchburg YMCAs now. And just like, I do want to continue to be part of the YMCA no matter where I go. Obviously, I don't have a 5-year plan. I don't know where the world's going to be in 5 years, but just like, maybe, hopefully, I'm still connected to the YMCA in one way or another. even after I'm off doing my own thing or somewhere else, like wherever I may be, I always just want to be part. And the YMCA is always going to be part of me. It's like actually my manager Jen said before, it's like it's the Hotel California. You can't leave. It like always sucks you. And then, the YMCA is sucking me back in. Like now it's to teach here after I just grew up with the Y. Like it's part of it.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me turn this off.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go off the thing. I actually set a timer because I thought we were gonna be in another location and I would have to be like leaving it around this time. But we're already at the location we need to go. This is awesome. But so yeah, I didn't mean for that to go off in the interview.
No worries. The nomadic teaching method is the best in my humble opinion. None of the masters had studios as far as I know.
Thank you. Yeah. No, I've been wanting to get more into. I'm still in the establishing myself phase of teaching yoga and like getting really grounded, but eventually I do want to explore other places and like teach there and just like. But that's like it's gonna be later on. Later on, I still got some work to do, guys. Like, so it'll work. You already know.
We all got work to do. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA.
Classic song, classic place. Like this place is great. Come on, now.
Absolutely. So I was gonna ask you real briefly. Do you plan on starting your own business with relates to yoga, or your own business in general, or yeah? So where do you? I know you said you don't have a 5-year plan or nothing like that, but do you have like a bigger picture for the future, or?
I do, and it's a little tricky, it's complicated, but I want to become my own business, and yoga is all about integration. And we talked about earlier is like yoga came to America to evolve. Finances, business, internet, virtual, these things are new components that yoga needs to start to touch and figure out how to integrate. And I want to integrate business and finances by becoming my own yoga teacher. Like I am, my body, my mind, and my soul are my business. So wherever I go, I'm just teaching. I can teach a class. I can provide this service. It's just another form of a product. Right. So basically that's where I'm coming at it from a business point of view. And I have been quote unquote procrastinating, but I'll call it waiting or meditating too on it because this thing, the internet, is going to be a huge part of my business and just cloning myself to be able to teach virtually more places. However, I've been almost like working on myself, making sure I'm high definition as opposed to low definition. So wherever it gets cloned comes in high def too. So that's kind of like my excuse / my reason. It's like you can look at it anyway, like whatever, but that's where I'm at now. I do plan on using the internet and creating a virtual space first and then see if the physical space is needed down the road, because I don't think it will be as important. It's like the biggest 4 companies in the world are all just built on top of the internet. And just like, so if I can maybe just build my virtual yoga studio on the internet first, maybe the physical one will not be needed later. Nice. I still can imagine myself having one, but at the same time, that integration is like, I want to become like my body, my mind, my soul, like my business. Like I am. Some people call it a brand. Some people call it used to be called reputation. Like it's just like whatever you want to call it, brand, or just, I guess the yoga will be integrated. It'll just be you. Like you'll be all of it. And that's just going back to the self integrating. That's, I guess, my plan, like business wise, is to make it part of me, which in the virtual component is part of all of us now. It's like, it's going to get only more and more embedded. So I guess those are my thoughts on that.
Yeah, of course. I see where you're coming from. Definitely. And I like how you're taking advantage of the virtual realm, whereas like, of course, we live in a world where the majority of people spend their time on the internet, and it only makes sense to start your virtual studio. So that's pretty awesome because, again, like you're saying, people are on the internet wanting to do their own practices at home instead of, having to come here or, to spend money, whereas they can come see you in your virtual studio and participate in your practices and learn their own things. That's awesome.
Time is literally, and Gary Vee, I love Gary Vee, by the way. He talks about attention, he talks about time, but like these 2 things are the most powerful currencies, the most valuable currencies in existence at this point in time. And just like, that's the advantage over virtual is it cuts out time. It's like, you don't have to drive to a yoga studio. You don't have to, it is still benefit in doing that, right? We talked about that earlier, but you don't have to do it. It's like, you can just boom, like instantly. It's getting very close to teleporting. It's just like, it's the other thing teleporting, not us. But that's probably later to come, right? Because technology is just a reflection of all what we can already do, all of us. Right. But it's just like, boom, instantly you're in a virtual yoga studio. You don't even have to go out the door. And by the time, think of how crazy technology has evolved in a couple of years. Only like back maybe 10 years ago. How old are you again?
20.
Oh wow, damn. So even it's so you grew up with a little more than me. I'm 27, but like I remember like 10 years ago, it was like I didn't have an iPhone. It's like all right, maybe I was just getting the first version of the iPhone. It really wasn't an internet thing. It's now we're like completely connected to the internet. It's insane, and just technology is developing so fast. Who's to say it's not realistic that in 2 to 3 years time, it's like it's gonna be like a holographic internet. It's like that's like the real virtual reality. It's like instead of logging on to the internet and taking a virtual class, watching from screen, maybe I'll be in the room with you, like a virtual hologram, me doing the yoga with you. It's like you start to compete more and more with physicality, and it gets to a point like, which one are you coming back to? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy to think about. Like, dang, that's definitely the future, where you can like project. You can like project yourself there real time, and
real time
that's
too.
Like private in their home. You know, that's awesome.
And you can see them, and so it's not like you're like it's a one-way thing. It's like you can both see each other. Yeah. Like it will be crazy.
Yeah, that is gonna be crazy. Ty, you're such a beautiful light. Thank you. Wow. Peace to you, my friend. Thank you. Alex, there is a life coach in you. Yoga will lead you to the right place and path to integrate all you are.
Wow, thank you.
That's a fabulous idea about the virtual studio.
Wow.
Yeah, you gotta like trademark that. Start
all right.
About it. That's awesome. But hey, I was gonna ask, can we do like some yoga right now? Do a little bit of yoga right now?
Yeah.
That's cool. You
sure?
Just do like a little few minutes to get the people, show the people like a little beginner stage if you want to.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. Let's do it.
I can show you a very easy 3-part potential home practice that you can use just to get started off on. It like will warm up the core, the spine all the way, and it's only 3 moves, and it'll be super simple to do.
Doing some
actually,
yoga.
do you want me to just do it here? If you like, maybe want me to be in it right here like this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, hey, now I'm going to show you a 3-part yoga home practice that you can potentially do at home, and it's super easy to do. It'll be like 5 minutes or less. There's 3 parts of it. The first part is twisting, rotational, lateral. That's you're flossing out the spine. Point 2 is our extension. That's going to be a bridge pose. In bridge pose is a little different than the workout bridge pose. We want more of like an arch in the spine and more of an opening in the hip flexors and the psoas. And this is one of the best moves that a lot of you can do because so many people, like we talked about, are sitting down all day long, and just the bridge pose helps counteract that. It opens at the front, strengthens the back, as opposed to the right. If people sit too much, the back is weak, the front is tight. Okay, and then 3 will be some type of forward fold, just getting the flexion. It's a really good way to calm down. And we got the spine moving in all directions, okay? And just it's literally the core of our being is like we want to be healthy from the inside out. Okay, hey, so let's come on to the backs. Maybe they can see us. Yeah, they'll be able to see us. Backs like this, knees bent. Just because we're close with space, we're going to go over the head with it, and we'll have to sync up too. This is the close quarters, but normally you can go arms out to a T. Now, hey, Ty, let's go over to the left with the knees. Yeah. Oh, so did I. And then bring it back to center. Then over towards the right. Yep, bring it back to center. Let's do one more time each to the left. So, hey, we're just flossing out the spine. Literally, like we floss our teeth every day. Most of us, hopefully, we want to floss our spine too. I'd argue it's more important. Okay, move 2, that was move 1, is the bridge. We want to press down through the heels, lift the hips up. In a workout bridge, or more of a plank position, but the yoga bridge, we're really trying to lift the hips up as much as possible and create a big arch in the spine to try to open the hip flexors and the psoas. And hey, you can do it dynamically, or you can also hold it. We're holding it statically now, but you can do it anyway. And just like it's literally all these poses are a template for you to, yeah, we'll bring it down. All these poses are a template for you to build off. Like you can do single leg bridges, you can do different types of twists. And the third move is knees to chest like this, just bringing the knees in towards the chest. Oh, yeah. Shoulders in the head are relaxed too. And this is our third move. Oh, I'm going to turn off my phone alarm, but this is our third move out of 3. And just kind of it relaxes us. And if you want to add on to this, you can always just kind of keep the knees bent, touch down the feet, hands on the belly, and do a couple deep breaths. It's amazing what even 1 or 2 deep breaths can do for you in a day. But hey, that's what I wanted to show. It's a very simple, possible home practice, right? We have the number 1, the spinal flossing, number 2, the bridge, and number 3, the forward fold, and then you'll be good to go. Your core is like loose, and you got a little yoga in you. You can build that habit.
Yeah, that was awesome. And the last one really got my hips going.
This is a good feel. Okay, so we're going back to the seat.
Yep. I think we're gonna. You gotta go soon, so end it right there.
Oh, I'll turn this off again. With this.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That felt pretty awesome. Just for a few exercises. But before I let you go, because I know you got some stuff to do. If there was one thing, well, I already know that it's yoga. But I was gonna ask, what is your why? Why do you do what you do? You know, not just because it makes me feel better, or I love helping people, or like, what's the main reason why you're doing what you do?
Okay, I actually want to highlight something super powerful, and once again, it's subtle, but there's almost like 3 levels of why, I would say, why to do things. It's like the first level would be do it for something outside of you, whether it's a girlfriend, whether it's your family, whether it's for money, whether it's for the cars. Those are fine to have as whys, by the way. Like, it's whatever. Like, it depending on what you want. So the first degree would be the why would be something outside of you. The second level would be you're doing it for yourself. You're doing it, wow, I want to have the best life possible. That's like that personal development kick. A lot of people are literally doing it because they're doing it for them. They just know of the opportunity that is life, and they just want to be the greatest version for them, which is awesome. That's the second level. The third level is doing it for the process, doing it for the practice. You could say doing it for nothing, just doing it. Because that stems from an understanding of, like I said before, I'm a huge fan of Gary Vee, and that's where I got that 400 trillion to 1 thing. And then I looked further into that, and like the odds are actually way less. If they could be less than that to exist, it's literally like it's mathematically impossible for us to exist. And the more and more I'm cultivating my self-awareness, the more and more I'm seeing this magic all around me. It's just like it's impossible for everything to exist, just to be so synchronized. Like the coincidences are insane. It's just like, how is all of this running? Is like, we have science that explains a lot of it, and then once they can't figure it out, they're like, oh, it's just like magic. There's a lot that science can't even explain. Even though science can explain it, it's just like, who put this system into place? It's insane. It's just like, I guess my why is life, just like the process of life, the practice of life, and just having the opportunity. I'm not necessarily doing it for me. I'm just doing it it's a combination of nothing. It's a combination of everything. I'm just doing it for the practice. Like, wow, it's impossible to exist. So I might as well make the most of existing. I'm doing it for that.
That's powerful. And I've heard a lot of, every time I ask someone this question when I interview them, it's always a very empowering reason. And sometimes it helps them open up and be like, this is the reason why I am doing this. And to hear something like that, I'd never heard before for a why. I always hear something new from someone different because it shows like we're all unique. But it's great to hear that. And I think that why is extremely powerful. So hold on to that. That's awesome. But guys, I want to thank Alex again for being able to come on the stream for a bit. Our time's cut short. We both got some things we got to do today, so we had to make this early, and we're going to end it a little early, but we're definitely going to be collabing more in the future. And where can people find you on social media?
Right now, I'm best found if you just type Alex Julian Yoga into Google. My website and social media handles will come up.
Nice, and that will be in the description as well. We'll have his website, we'll have his YouTube channel, his Instagram. And Instagram, he posts his clips of some of the yoga he's doing, like that. What is that?
Oh, the aerial yoga.
Yoga.
We didn't talk about that.
That's crazy. You can go see that on his Instagram. He's also got some videos on his YouTube. He does post there once in a while as well. But we'll have his website in the description, his YouTube, his Instagram. Make sure to go subscribe, follow, and stay connected with him on his website.
And guys, we will see you soon. I'm so glad that whoever was on here. You got to know Alex more. You got some, some nice yoga, some nice beginner yoga steps you can take advantage of. And you got to know more about yoga on a more mind, body, soul perspective than just what it was as, just the physical perspective. Because there's way more to it than I knew, because I definitely learned something new today. That's awesome. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to Ty Speaks, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like. And as always, stay on point in this peacefully chaotic world. Peace.
Thank you.
See you guys soon.